since the SEC Science Club returned from a month-long excursion to Ethiopia and brought back several barrels of ancient plant leaves that have so far defied identification. Apparently, the plants are unknown to modern science. To add to this mystery, a large sarcophagus with the name Tsussamen inscribed on the lid was unearthed, along with a number of other sarcophagi, canopic jars, and various containers of the well-preserved leaves. The local Ethiopians agreed to donate the artifacts, provided they were removed from the area as quickly as possible. Soon after removing these artifacts, Science Club members became infected with intestinal parasites. Fortunately, they all recovered from their ordeal, even as the artifacts were being placed in storage in the science building.
And that's when this story took a really bizarre twist. According to local officials, one of the barrels leaked a hallucinogenic gas, and a sort of mass hysteria ensued. Affected people reported seeing hazmat zombies devouring students and personnel. All of these claims were subsequently laid to rest, as no evidence whatsoever of zombies or their supposed victims were ever found. Hazmat personnel reported that the entire incident was the result of a hallucinogenic gas released into the local atmosphere when one of the drums leaked. Apparently, anyone in the vicinity was affected and saw themselves being attacked by zombies. In a recent interview, a science faculty representative, who wishes to remain anonymous, insisted that the hazmat zombie incident never happened. The instructor stated that it was simply a mass hallucination caused by a mixture of hallucinogenic gas and overactive imagination.
SCC science faculty are confident no such incidents will happen this year when they attempt to open the drums of plant leaves and the sarcophagus later this evening. They have no clue as to who or what the inscription on the sarcophagus refers to, but suggested the ancient leaves may well be the mythical Tana leaves mentioned in ancient scrolls. Such leaves were supposedly used by certain magi to bring mummies to life.
I'm sure after last year's excitement, Dr. Hutcherson, we can do without the mummies. Even so, we look forward to learning more about the mysterious artifacts. And this wraps up our edition of SCC News. Stay tuned as we bring you live, on-the-spot coverage of the opening of the Ethiopian sarcophagi. Thank you and good night.
Hi, I'm Dr. Not a Doc. Do you ever feel like you want more out of life? That you wish you had just a few more minutes of sleep in the morning? Do you ever long for the affection of a significant other? Do you ever get hungry or feel depressed?
You know, Cliff, I'm actually very concerned about opening those sarcophagi. I've been doing some tests on the mummies and on these so-called Tana leaves, and I'm getting some interesting results out of them.
Tana leaves? These are Tana leaves? Haven't these been extinct for some 4,000 years now?
Supposedly. This was in that shipment that came from Ethiopia last year when the Science Club went and the Ethiopian government donated all of those artifacts. We had sarcophagi and mummies and Tana leaves, and I don't know what they wanted with all this junk, but apparently the officials, the Ethiopian government, said they could have them for free if they'd get them out of there fast. But I opened one of the sarcophagi last night, and there was a mummy that was very well preserved, and I actually took some scrapings from the materials and dissolved them, and this is what I got here. And I also did some extractions on these Tana leaves, and this is from the Tana leaves, and you're not going to believe what happened when I started playing with this stuff. Watch this. When you mix the Tana leaf extract with the mummy scrapings.
That looks like blood.
Yeah, well, get ready for this. We analyzed this. It is blood. It is real blood. You know, this reminds me of a story I once heard when I took an Egyptology class. Some 4,000 years ago, during the reign of Mentuhotep III, supposedly there was this evil magician who conspired against the pharaoh, and he and some other magicians got together and they would raise the mummies and they actually were able to bring back creatures from the underworld, and they set these creatures on the population. And apparently the Pharaoh was able, with the help of his own magicians, to subdue this evil magician, and they mummified them alive. Apparently it did no good, because the mummy sightings kept happening, and so the pharaohs finally ordered all of the sarcophagi to be removed from Egypt. And the rumor, or at least the story goes, is that they were buried somewhere in Ethiopia. And interestingly enough, Science Club goes to Ethiopia and they send back these artifacts and sarcophagi, canopic jars, and lots of these tanna leaves. And so anyway, Ms. Davenport asked me to do some chemistry with this stuff and see what I could figure out. But as you can see, I mean, this has me baffled. How do you get blood from leaf extracts and from the scrapings of that mummy? And that's not all. Let's move down here. This is an experiment I was doing on the tanna leaves. If you actually suspend these tanna leaves in water, and then you hit it with salt water, watch what happens. It's like the salt water causes it to decay. They're actually destroyed.
That's not normal, is it?
No, it's not normal. Neither is the odor from this thing. As these leaves decay, they're putting off some type of fumes. And you remember last year what happened? We opened those drums that had the tanna leaves. Supposedly some gas was given off, and I guess it was from the leaves. And people started hallucinating, seeing so-called zombies and dead people walking. It was a mess. They had to get hazmat teams in here to clean up, and apparently it was all just mass hallucination. At least that's the official story, but some people still swear it happened. Let me show you something else. And this is really the kicker. Here, this is actually a piece of the mummy. And I'm talking about the big sarcophagus, the one with the inscription. Watch this. I'm going to dissolve some salt in the water. Make a real saturated solution here. So remember what happened to the tanna leaves? How it looks as if they were being destroyed when you add the salt water? Watch this. Probably made this solution a bit stronger than necessary, but last night when I tried it with a weaker solution, it worked pretty good, but I thought this morning I'd strengthen the salt solution and just see if this would actually happen again. That's probably good enough. You might want to stand back because it was really wild last night. Right. And the inscription on the sarcophagus was Tsussamen.
Oh, Mr. Neely, there's a fire!
Get an extinguisher, quick! Get an extinguisher! I've never seen so many fumes put off. That's all right. It looks like it's dying down. There it goes. It's okay. It's gone out. Those fumes are awful, though. Uh-oh. Cliff, open the door. I'm going to go out in the hall. Get some fresh air.
I am Tsussamen the Great and Powerful. Destroy the living. Destroy